Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 587. Today we'll be doing battle in backpack paddles and another video with the Reaper. And so we've made our way up the diamond. Let's see if we can't hold on to it, jump into battle, see if we can't get something fun and cool going together with this one. An interesting start. Like I had to just like number one, just see like, oh, neat stuff here. It's a good start with these food items and a broom. I like these shovel starts with the Reaper. Also just almost everything on sale again. I think on our last video, 4 of the items were on sale as well. And as you have this start where it's like 9 gold worth of stuff, you can just easily pick it all up. This should all fit within our bag. Get a fairly easy and straightforward start here. And so, let's get everybody in real quick. Easy enough. Well, it's supposed to be easy, right? But I'd like to get this this pig lined up with the dust if we can. It's a little bit short, isn't it? We're not gonna quite be able to do that. I think it'll be okay though. Just missing out on the 2 health from the piggy bank hopefully isn't too bad. See what round 1 brings us. Oh, up against a hammer. Should be good to go. I think. Right? You just see our health get completely chunked down as that hammer hit lands. But I think we should be okay, right? This thing tends to be so slow. There we go. It's like I can't remember a time I won on the first round with the hammer. And so, go us, GG. And now things even back out, right? We get a bit of a garbage bag on the next set. Nothing here we're super interested in keeping. I'm kind of interested in the lump of coal, but I would rather, at this point, save the money for a reroll, see if we can't find a pan. That's perfect. This is just everything I'm really looking for at this point. We got a pan, we got another bag, and a wooden buckler. Very happy to come in and pick up all of them. Now, I'm not opposed to picking up things like healing herbs. They've really grown on me as far as the Reaper goes. I really like coming in and picking up some of these Hungry Blade based builds and having access to that that health regen to convert over into fangs is pretty good. But this is more of an on-point bag with picking up the pan, picking up the buckler. We're not quite looking to build towards that here. And so let's just come in, make everything fit. I think we can give up on the piggy bank for this round and then look to just focus in on the focus in on upgrading the pan into the shovel, free up those 3 hexes within the bag. We already got a bit of a head start on the economy, right? All that stuff on sale in the first one makes it a little bit easier. Now here, I think we're okay. The opponent has a no weapon start, so they're counting on the fly agarics and the poisons out of the coffin to deal the damage. This tends to be too slow. I don't think we have to worry about losing this round. I think we'll be able to kill them before the damage really rolls in, and barely got it. Barely got it. That was close. So, good stuff. Alright, continuing forward, we do have the walrus tusk to come in and make a wooden buckler. I will say, in the previous video, I was talking about really just going for mana builds almost every single game with the Reaper, but here recently I have been having a bit of success with Thorn Bloom based builds as well. We'll see if this build brings itself out to using the Thorn Bloom. I like to use the Thorn Bloom with the little debuff dagger that you get. But where that's kind of leading towards is we definitely just want to pick up this Walrus Tusk. I really like these Thorns bucklers. They tend to last us throughout the majority of the game. Otherwise here, you know, I'm not quite certain on how to handle this board at this point. It's like we're kind of strong in this sense to where you know, we have a decent bag. I'd like to get another, you know, bag just to kind of clear up the space, but it's not unreasonable to think that we wouldn't want to just save the money for the next round. I guess we'll take it. I'd like to get this piggy bank back on board. And cool, we hit on the leather bag to just fill out everything here. And so that looks good to me. Do we want to save up on any of this stuff? It's very interesting. I talked about just wanting to go for mana builds, to which we would be pretty interested in maintaining this broom. And then also talked about going for the thorns-based builds, to where the walrus tusk coming up is kind of interesting. And so maybe with this video, we'll just go ahead and try and force the... see if we can't force some of this thorns-based build to show you what I'm kind of working with and liking here. And so I'm going to go ahead and lock in the walrus tusk. I'm not certain if that's exactly the best play here. I'm not opposed to just going into the next shop. I'm not opposed to just locking in the broom to make sure we have a way to make a wand. But again, this is another powerful build with the Reaper. Like, I think the way to go is probably just to pass the round and then hope for something on sale the next round. And then if you find like a Broom on sale, you go that way. If a Tusk on sale, you go that way. Just not really forcing these Thorns. They're good, but I don't think they're strong enough to be forcible. But let's force it anyways so we can chat about it, talk about it, see how it goes. And we'll jump on in that way. All right, should be pretty reasonable here. We're going to crush this Ranger, right? The brooms and the weak short swords, nothing too much to worry about. I think we'll take this round down fairly easy. He's going to have the edge on us early, then our poison's going to start to stack up. You'll see his health go down. I hope, right? that's the way it should be happening. That's the way it should go. And all right, we got it there at the end of the day. It's close. Both of these rounds have been close. It feels like if RNGesus was a little bit feistier either direction, the chances the tides would turn. Nonetheless, moving forward, I have started to like these unidentified amulets a little bit more. The thing with the unidentified amulets, I feel like you have to take it really early, right? In the sense that if you find the food one, you can build towards food. If you find the potion one, you can come in and build more potions. The potion one with the buffs is kind of good early as well. The attack speed one that also refunds mana spend is quite good as well. But the thing is, you have to kind of like pick them up early, so you're building towards the right thing. It's a very heavy investment to just like buy this 6 gold and just throw it away for 3 refund. And this is the point to where I'm not opposed to it, but we're going to be making this pretty heavy investment into the Walrus Tusk. And so I don't think I want to be stacking in on this amulet. Although there is the Thorns one, which is quite good. If we do look to build towards Thorns. Do you all want to roll the dice? Do you want to see how RNGesus is doing today? Let's do it. Let's just snatch it up. I don't think this is the way to go, but it's what we've done. We landed on the potion one. It's not incredibly strong, but getting these extra buffs at the start of battle isn't terrible, right? You could definitely do worse than picking up the 3 buffs here at the start, especially if you land on some of the high-powered ones like Empowered, or if you land on Health Regen. And so is what it is. I think I'm going to cut out the blueberries, though, to get the Fly Agaric and get a little bit more damage up and running. Could look to pick up the Goobert, but I don't think that's where we want to be. Okay. Look at that. Hit a Thorns, double empowered. Should be quite strong here. Like, I guess I could convince myself that I don't hate the potion one in this space, in the sense that, you know, if we're going to try and be getting a lot of these Thorns up and running, it can be kind of okay, but it's certainly not the strongest of the amulets to be hitting. Okay, so moving on. Now what I'm going to say here is we do see this on sale leather armor. We're going to let it pass. I make a big deal about talking about what defensive items we're going to be picking up along the way. With this build, we're going to be looking towards the corrupted armor. The thing that I like to do with this build is we're going to make a Thorn Bloom. We're going to have the Thorn Bloom and the Claws of Attack as our main weapons, and then we're going to have a corrupted armor, and then we're also going to have the subclass item in the Cursed Dagger. And so what we're looking to do here is we're going to have the Thorn Bloom and then the Gloves of Attack getting the crit bonuses off the Cursed Dagger. The Cursed Dagger is inflicting the debuffs, giving us that higher crit chance, and then the Dark Armor is going to help those debuffs stick and give us a little bit of sustain by taking the debuffs off of us, slapping them back onto the opponent. And so that's the kind of core thing that we'll be looking for. The Dark Armor, the Cursed Dagger, the Thorn Bloom, and then Claws of Attack. And the Leather Armor just doesn't fit into that. Now, while I'm kind of okay with this Amulet of Alchemy, is that the health potions do work when we're not building towards armor, right? And so I guess you could say, well, Bust, you can just get the armor potions. You're right, but they're kind of expensive. And so just something to keep in mind that we'll be building towards if we do want to use this Amulet of Alchemy. But let's take a roll. Not using anything here. Nothing was quite on theme. And then this is just the pivot point, right? You have the bag come in, but then we've also found the broom along with a mana orb. And that gives us the chance to potentially just move into the next round. And so I am a little bit worried at this point that we haven't seen the the what's it called? The just even the Thorn Whip turn up. And so what I'm kind of thinking about at this point, I was hoping that we could go for this Thorns build. I don't think it's going to happen at this point. So what I'm going to look to do here, I'm going to pick up this magic staff. I'm going to pick up the serpent staff as soon as we can, and then see if we can't pivot over to just a poison build. It's not it's not as exciting. I was hoping to build thorns, but you know, sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles. And so we gotta get up to the $4 this turn. We'll get rid of the piggy bank. We'll get rid of the pocket sand. We can get rid of a garlic. That'll give us the money we need to purchase this thing. Come in, start up with a broom. Get the magic staff going in here as well. Okay, so that's starting to be something. Now, the other thing to kind of note here is I kind of want this wooden buckler. I know that we've gone on and on about not going for thorns, but having two of these wooden bucklers, or two of these spiked shields, I should say, isn't the end of the world. And so I think I'm going to go ahead and just call the reserve so that we can look to have that just be our defense at this point with the two wooden bucklers. Still generating thorns, still preventing damage. It's not terrible. And then if things go completely wrong, we could just pivot back to the thorn stuff. But I don't think that that's what we're going to really be focusing on here. Alright, I think we're okay this round. Up against the double broom. He's got a lot of sustain with both of the health potions. I don't know if he's going to be able to deal enough damage. He is. Crushed us. I guess we were really missing there. That poison started to add up fast. Alright though, we got our magic staff. We want this buckler. Nothing too interesting remaining here. I think it's a little bit early to be taking these corrupted crystals. I do like them, but we need just a little bit more direction with what we're going to be doing here. I'd kind of like to figure out if we're going to be going for poison or going for potions or what we're doing here. And so let's just take the reroll, get out of that. And then a potion belt along with a health potion. Not super exciting. Gotta take something out of this though. I think we just want to take the bag slots out of the potion belt. Trying to think if we want these health potions. It is one of the things I've had little success with is using the Staff of Unhealing with health potions. It is something we could chase after, right? Having your healing deal damage, then having the health potions deal damage to the opponent. It's not the craziest thing in the world. I just tend to... I prefer to be more on like the damage heavy side of things as opposed to the healing side of things, and I feel like that tends to be a little bit too much healing. So... I don't think I'm super excited about it. We'll just let it go. Not a horrible space to be in, at least. Oh, we got a chipped topaz down here. Almost missed out on that. Okay. All right, I guess. Getting to the point where we need to rearrange some of these bags to get the wands lined up a little bit better. And we just got domed. We got that stun based off of the pumpkin and just got blasted right in the face. Guess that's what happens sometimes. All right, look at this stuff. The game's just saying it. They're just saying bust. Go for the thorns. Get the thorns going with the pineapple and another walrus tusk. Fucking fine. Fucking fine. We can still make the magic staff work. we can most definitely do something with this. I worry a little bit about the items that have shown up at this point, but maybe it'll pop off a little bit later. All right, but let's see what we can't get going here. Alright, we're getting closer. We're getting there. Something like this at least. Maybe we can clean this up just a touch. Just to where we've still got the shield in the coffin. If you're not familiar, if the shield blocks, that counts as an activation for the coffin. So that works good here. We've got all 6 slots in the bottom covered up now. We're a little bit heavier on the food synergies. Maybe we get the other fly agaric in here. Just to deal the damage as opposed to the sustain from the garlic. Okay, I don't hate it. It's going somewhere. What do we got here? Berserker. The longsword and the shovel. Get that battle rage kind of early. I think he's still going to zing us at the end. We don't have any poison running through. Dang. Our sustain is just not enough. And so now this is where it gets a little bit challenging, right? This is where it gets a little bit awkward. If we're going to go for that Thorns build I was talking about, I want to pick up the Hex Blade here. It ties in with everything quite nicely, but we haven't found the key build around. We haven't found that... We haven't found that Thorn Whip at this point, and it's got to be tough to get together from here. It's like we still have the Walrus Tusk if the gloves turn up, but the big build around is that Thorn Whip, or the Thorn Bloom, I should say. And without it, you know, there's no telling how long it's going to be. Or if we find like a Thorn Whip, say in the next round, who knows when we're going to find the Heroic Potion to go with it. And so I don't really want to go for the Hex Blade at this point. I just think it's just not going to work. And so to me, that's the thing that we are kind of working on here is we have this reasonable food stuff, and we have the Amulet of Alchemy, and we have the magic staff to go with the mana gain on the Cauldron. I mean, I think we just have to switch over to a Cauldron build and see if we can't just focus in on either the healing or the poison, whatever turns up first. Like, I'm fine to dig into either of them, and so I'm not happy about it. You know, I had higher hopes for where this build is going, but I think this is just kind of where we're stuck at this point. So fine, make a sad noise and let's move on. So what do we got here? We got this prismatic orb turning up. I'm not opposed to it. Now, one of the interesting things with the prismatic stuff in these style of builds is if you go and look at the corrupted armor, which turns your dark items also to holy, it does let us add some of these things to where we get 3 of the keywords off of a single item. And so if we attach the Shield of Valor next to that corrupted armor, you get the holy, you get the magic, and you get the dark. So you get that little 3-peat out of the corrupted armor as far as the prismatic buffs go. Same thing goes with the dark saber, in the sense that if you have the dark saber, it's a dark weapon but also a holy weapon. And so, or I'm sorry, if you have the just the regular one, the lightsaber, it counts as both. And so it's just one of the interesting synergies you can pick up with this. I'm not entirely convinced that we'll go after that heavy of synergies, though. I don't think we'll be that heavy into the dark items, especially since we went for the Cauldron as opposed to the I don't know, the voodoo doll, whatever it's called. And so we're going to let the prismatic orb go. We'll pick up this potion belt. We are hurting for bag space at this point. We just added in this 4-hex cauldron that we have to kind of deal with in some way. And so let's move on from there. Last but not least, we can pick up this Hungry Blade. It's probably a reasonable time to go ahead and sell off the shovel and pick up the Hungry Blade. You can definitely turn the Hungry Blade into the Mana Thirst, which is a good fuel for either our Serpent Staff or for our Staff of Unhealing. And so I think we'll go ahead and pick it up. Get rid of the shovel at this point. All right, now it's gonna be time to just do a big old bag rearrange. And so just go ahead and get ready for it. Knock it all out. Let's see how we want to do this. Typically like doing something about this way. Where'd our wand go? All right, then we can have our friends in like this. You'd ideally have a 2-hex bag, like speed bag at this point, to fill out where this bag is on the left, and then we could push everything to the left one more. Hopefully that'll come together here in a little bit. And then otherwise, I'm going to want to kind of have this one space out here to the right to where the Cauldron can get bonuses off the double potion belt to the right. I know we don't have any potions at this point, but that's what we're going to look to kind of pull off with this friend, is to get those big bonuses from the double belt next to the Cauldron. All right, let's see what we can do. Make some of this work until our bags get fleshed out. Man, we gotta we gotta find the room for these spiked shields as well. Definitely don't want to be running around without them. Alright, something like that's probably okay-ish. We've got both the shields in. The Walrus Tusk doesn't quite fit at this point, but that's okay. We've got 4 of the hexes covered on the cauldron. A little bit more bag space should be able to clean that up a little bit. At least we got some direction. I don't like where we're at this point. It feels like we're very weak here, but the plans that we had early just didn't come together, and so it's a bit concerning. Now we're up against the Sun Armor. Does he strip debuffs? Certainly does. We should at least be much more DPS heavy at this point, having the Hungry Blade, the Magic Staff, and the mana regen to keep the Magic Staff damage up. So we aren't as like poison reliant as we were a little bit earlier. And then look at all that thorns we had. We had 13 thorns at the end of the day. That was pretty heavy. That was pretty big. And so interesting to see that happen. But now we do have a gloves turn up. I think I'm fine to still just add in a Walrus Tusk. Like, if we got 13 thorns without trying that hard, I'm not certain where the fuck they even came from, right? I guess it was a lot of the pineapple hits rolling through. But, you know, we're on a low stamina build at this point. I guess we could fit this in. Why not, right? Okay, now we got some potions coming through as well. Now, I will say, I really like the divine potions with the alchemist, as we're able to upgrade them into the strong divine potion, which gives you the 8 random buffs on activation. And so we can get this massive stack of buffs coming out of this thing, which should also tie in with these thorns a little bit as well. And so interested to see what we can do with that. Now, we are hurting for bag space at this point, which kind of sucks, but things are improving, I think. I think we've at least found a bit of that direction that we're looking for. Let's see if we can't get everything in and running. The Claws of Attack are upgrading. Again, just need some more bag space. The health potion's upgrading, at least getting the cauldron up and running. The reserve on the divine potion. Okay. Let's move it on. Let's move it up. Mr. Dingleberry. That's a poop. Butt Stuff 420 and Mr. Dingleberry out here bringing the poop related things right to your stream. You're welcome. All right, crushing, carrying on now. Good stuff. And so lots of interesting things here with this one as well. The demonic flask is what we would be using to upgrade the upgrade the magic staff into the staff of unhealing if we want. I'm not entirely convinced that this is where we want to be. It is, you know, going to churn through fast, right? Healing for 20 with the magic cauldron out there, like we can upgrade this quite a bit. I like to think towards the other sustain type of stuff that you have though, and we have like a little bit, right? We get some lifesteal off of the fangs we have from the Hungry Blade. We get some from things like pineapple. And so we have like a little bit of stuff out there, but just not a ton. The healing potions are where it's going to kick in kind of heavy. And so maybe it'll be okay. Like if we're going to be real, like holding out for the serpent staff just probably isn't going to work, right? We don't even have any like poison generators at this point. And so I think I'm fine to just go towards the staff of unhealing. So let's pick it up. Get the little bag. Now the oil lamp is another interesting one. It's nice in the sense that it gives us an upgrade onto the Hungry Blade, and it also gives us kind of like a consistent activator underneath the cauldron, right? And so I think I'm going to go ahead and pick it up as well. Just keep the reserve on the divine potion. Hopefully we'll be able to snatch it up at some point. Let's see, I think we're going to need to do something a little bit awkward like this to where we lose a little bit of the effectiveness on our cauldron. We need to start making use of this potion thing. All Alright, maybe we just give up on the blueberries over on that side. Gotta find some space for this spiked shield a little bit later. Okay. This is starting to get somewhere. Now, I'm not certain here. It might be better to actually have the oil lamp over on the claws of attack. I don't see any, like, rearranges. I guess the rearranges can happen like this. If we would prefer to get the oil lamp on the claws, it's not getting upgraded anywhere else. So this is probably fine. Oh, this... Oh, man, I thought we were going to be able to add the... We were like 1 hex off on getting the potion belt, or the amulet of alchemy down there in a little bit better space. Alright, fine. I think this is good. I like where we're going. We finally found that direction we need. So what do we got here? Up against a crit build, but he doesn't have the clover generation yet. I think we'll be okay. Right. Next round. What can we do? Finally start to see things like the Thorn Whip turn up. Again, it's way too late to try and go after this kind of thing. So let's just stay away from it. How long has this Flawed Topaz just been in our bag? little whoopsies there, I guess. Little whoopsies. Let's start making usage of some of this stuff. Get this divine potion out here. Get our health potion back up and running. Alright, that looks decent. Still hurting in terms of bag space, but we're improving. So we got sort of have 2 hexes left. So what I'm thinking about here is I do still like the Corrupted Crystal and the Cap of Resilience. Just getting that healing shred can be fairly important. We could probably just go ahead and go for it. We're still just like hurting for bag space, but our build is coming together kind of nicely at this point, and so there's just not a ton that we really need. We need another mana gem to activate the Hungry Blade, and then it's just going to be a matter of we'd like to pick up some armors. Like I'd like to get the dark armor, and I'd like to flesh out these potions around the cauldron, and then we're just kind of good to go. And so it's just a matter of like picking up potions and filling out the various foods from there. And so let's just go ahead and pick some of this up. Pick up the Corrupted Crystals so we don't have to sell anything. Like, we do have these free kind of stones to sell, but I don't think it's critical at this point. Alright, Lazinga. The old Frost Mage got the Divine Potion just in time to KO some of these frost things. Looks like we're still just a little bit too slow out here. Oh, zinged him right at the end. I thought we were done for there. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, what do we got? Got a helmet, got a bag for certain. We got to stop. That's where we're done. And so we are starting to pick up our first 2-slot bag. We can shift everything to the right and start to get that better usage out of our coffin. And so let's try and take care of that real quick. It's going to look something similar to this. Just got all that attack speed on our friends down there. Oh, damn it. Love that Control-Z feature. Do a little bit of undo, save us a bit of work. So that looks good. We are a little out of sorts with this 1 hex next to the cauldron. I'm not gonna deal with that. I don't think we have to worry about that too much. That one little tick. As we've been like really grinding out these battles, we're just gonna say, yeah, I don't care anymore. But it's a bit of a heavy lift in terms of rearranging here and getting the and getting these items back over in the right spot. We'll just leave it for it. Hang on, that's not that bad, right? We just go like this, and then everything's all better. That was the easiest fix 2024. So good. I'm happy we got that out of the way. Let's do this now. I'm wanting to get a blueberry down here at the bottom just to have this consistently activating thing within the bag. Okay, okay. I'm on board. This is starting to look a lot better. Now our cauldron is fully wrapped. Cause of attack's looking good. Okay. Let's boom him. So yeah, our offensive stuff, good to go. Just need that armor pickup and some more potions, and then food as filler. I like it. Looks like we're getting zinged this round though. Need more heal or something. It's interesting to see like how it goes when we don't hit on any lifesteal or fangs or whatever they're called. He did have double garlic to strip our fangs off, but like our sustain was pretty bad. That guy was just like way stronger than us anyways, but it just goes poorly when that's the case. All right, though, we got an amulet on sale. Let's see what we pick up here. Trigger the pet for thorns. This is the one I was talking about earlier that really pops off with the thorn builds. There's not a ton of good pets within the Reaper class, but the Jinx Tortilla does function as that. The Jinx Tortilla is the typical pet that I like to target. If you've built a Goobert, you can use that, but it's not going to work with our build here. I don't think it's... We have been getting quite a bit of thorns. I mean... The downside to the kind of like tortilla builds is that where I should go with this is like if you think back to that thorns build we wanted to have, to where we're going to have like an attack based on claws of attack and on the cursed dagger and on the thorn whip, and then you have the Jinx Tortilla upgrading all of those. Like that's a nice collection of synergies across the board. The things that we're really looking to focus in on and hone in on this are going to be these potions. And you only get one activation out of the potion, so the Jinx Tortilla doesn't do anything. And so I think it's just not worth going after in this build. We'll end up selling this Amulet of the Wild. So let's push on. Potion Belt on sale sounds good to me. Nothing else here that we need. Could look to pick up a Prismatic Orb at this point. It's a little expensive though. Just go for this Divine Potion. I think we have a little bit more space at this point. We're going to need to do something like this. So we've got our baseline bottom potions here, both drinking up. The strong Divine Potion should just give us an absolute fuck ton of buffs. And now we can just kind of put this protective purse wherever we need to make sure that the Amulet of Alchemy is up and running. That looks decent. The thing that sucks here is like we have this just ton of bags, but we still aren't fitting our spiked shield on board. We have like 4 hexes out here. Is there not a way that we can make this work? Right, if we just keep the pineapple out to the left, or we could even put, say, like the pineapple up here and then get an extra slot this way. I don't see it. It just it feels like we've got these 5 slots. We can put this protective purse, you know, pretty much anywhere. It's like, I guess you could, like, we can do it this way, so we like don't just lose out on the spiked shield, but we do lose out on a little bit of activations from the blueberries. I mean, I think that's probably fine. Rearrange a little bit more to make sure we get all the stars on our cauldron. Sure, I don't hate it. I don't really want the Prismatic Orb, so we'll skip over that. Alright, let's move on. Up against the big Buster Sword. You know, it seems okay. I think he's going to snag us here at the end. No, we finally snuck it out. But it's like, whenever we're watching this Buster Sword battle go, and it goes like 2 or 3 seconds and you're not dead, then you're like, okay, I think I can win this. I think we can do this. It's so good stuff there. Nice little bit of survivability. So here, what do we think of this thing? Like the godly and unique items trigger faster. What does that look like down here? We have nothing on the Staff of Unhealing, Nothing on the Claws of Attack, nothing on the Hungry Blade. Okay, so the Man Nico is just not going to work for us outside of just giving us that that crit resist. So we'll pass on it. Do want the bag though. Into the next set, and then we found a Holy Armor. Okay, I think we're just going to end up locking it. It's a bit expensive at this point. Well, I guess we can afford it, right? We don't want that. We don't really need any of this stuff. So let's see. Maybe we'll look to just pull a shield out, and then start getting this holy armor up and running. We're gonna want it up this way so that it can, at least for now, activate off of these. Activate off of these divine potions. That looks good. We'll want this Cap of Discomfort over here at some point. Here's our Amulet of Alchemy. And then we're back to this space, right? We're back to this point to where I feel like we should have a way to get one of these spiked shields on the board. I mean, maybe I guess if we're willing to just give up on one of these stars on the cauldron, then we can get one spiked shield in. Fine. Fine. I don't love it, but I don't hate it, I guess. I mean, it does fall off in value as the game goes on, and so we're really looking to just kind of switch it over to a like the magic shield. What's going on with this one? This guy just ripped through us. What was he even swinging with? What are his items? He's got a mana thirst and then a magic staff. It's like he just consistently ripped through our health way faster than we were dealing damage to him. Not bad. All right, though. Finally, some of these upgrades, right? Got the mana orb to make the mana thirst. Got a pestilence flask up here as well to get this 4 potion run going. How are we going to do this? We need it to look about something like this. I'm trying to think if we want a divine potion off top. Just well, I'm not ultra worried about the holy armor activating off of these divine potions. It's nice to have, but I want to rip off as many of these divine potions as we can, and so like the way that we really want it is something like this, but we miss out on our ability to lock up the debuff cleanse if we don't go this way. Like if we want to upgrade, right, we kind of there. That's the way we can do it. So the Pestilence Flask will rip the top one, the Health Potion will rip the bottom one, we'll still get all the buffs, and then we've got 4 potions across both belts. Okay, that's reasonable. Here's where things are going to get nasty. I want to make sure all 4 of our potions are on the thing here as well, on the amulet. We can miss out on a hex on the cauldron, I guess. It's gonna be a real challenge to make it fit somewhere. So can we do better with this pineapple? We might just have to cut it out. Guess this is okay. Missing out on 2 hexes on the cauldron kind of sucks. Is what it is. Alright, I think we're good to go. I guess I'm not opposed to another Cap of Resilience. Just give us that little bit of time in the early game, but let's just move on. Get up against the old cheese build. He's not dropping any debuffs on us, and so our big potions aren't popping off. Just got these 2 divine potions hanging out, not doing anything. That's a bit of a bummer. That's a crappy way to go. Like we got some of those to rip off when our other flasks activated, but Not getting to use the divine potions was kind of crappy. That was a bit of a negative draw against the berserker here. And so, not a bad battle. I'm not awesome. I'm not, stoked about how it went, but I'm not disappointed. I feel like, we did okay with what we were given. We did try and hard focus in on that Thorns build early, and it just didn't come together. And so, like, having to pivot midway through the game is a real pain point. But you could see where that was hard for us to do, right? We had to make that decision on the subclass round as do we want to continue on with Thorns or do we need to pivot out to something else? And it's like we already had the wand, and so we had to kind of move away from it. And so I like the direction that our build was going. I like what we did with this outside of some of those random rounds to where we really just tried to force Thorns. Maybe we'll be able to showcase those in the next video or something, as we didn't get to hit on them here, but I feel like we at least got to discuss some nice transitions and some nice things to look towards and some ways to take the builds, even though it didn't land on an ultimately successful survival round run. So good stuff. I had fun with that. I hope you did too, because that is going to do it for us today. So if everyone enjoyed the video, hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way and you had a good time watching. This is Bust and Wade. Thank you for being here.